What's up, bonsai people? This is Portulacaria Afra. I've had this since, I want to say, about 2019, maybe 2020. I shaped it, put it in a pot, grew it, changed it, angle changed. So this is my longest running Portulacaria. This is what got it all started for me. Needs a trim. Got a neat shape. Hail damage right here really damaged it, so I've got this runner right here. I'm gonna try to let it grow and grow, and maybe it'll thicken this up a little bit. Anything that grows around here, I'm gonna let it. But today I'm gonna talk to you about suckers. So this is a sucker, this is a sucker, this is a sucker, and they can also be called sacrificial branches. If you're trying to enlarge and thicken the nabari, which is the base, it's called the base, nabari, you can let them grow. It'll thicken anything below it. So on a bonsai, you're always trying to find your front. I think my front's more maybe there than there, but it's in the pot like that for now, so I'm gonna leave it. Got these, I have these weeds. If anybody knows what this is, let me know. They're not a real problem, but they're everywhere. Let's see. Let's clean this up a little bit. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut these suckers off so you can kind of see. And how do you like my daughter's crafting scissors? I don't know where my shears went, but this just shows you don't need much. This is probably like dollar store stuff. See. Okay, the thing about suckers, if you're growing all these suckers, you're getting all of these leaves and foliage and branches, that's where some of the energy's going. That could have been going up here. Like, this doesn't look like it has a whole lot of growth, all this through here. So if you let this grow long, you're just wasting energy if you don't want that, or you don't have a reason for it. So I've let this go long, way too long. Let's get these cut off. Let's see. Some you can just pinch with your thumb on these. I'm gonna leave it gnarly. You want that gnarly look, the little stumps and bumps, that gives it character. So, oh look, I found these a little bit better. Okay, so I'm here, I might as well trim it up. Got some dead stuff. I don't know what happened there. If it's going down, you want it, keep it. If not, anything that starts looking like a runner, like a long runner, at the very minimum, cut the end off, because that'll promote, you know, it's got energy, or it wouldn't be elongating. So if it's elongating, like growing way out, you don't want all that. You're wasting energy and wasting resources that could be going somewhere else on the tree that you do want. So trim them off, but a lot of times I like to trim them off halfway so that other branches will start growing out right there and give you lots of choices down the road. Let's see. Things like this. I want that. Right here, you can see this dead. Okay. Okay, a bonsai rule for you beginners. You can grow a branch out usually on the outside of a curve. So if you look at this, it's kind of got an outside curve here, and this has been growing. I thought, well, I may grow this into like a large pad in the background. So anytime you're thinking of pads, you're thinking of pad here. This is going to be a pad. I've got your main apex pad, and then I've got this, which has the main damage. I hope I don't ever have to cut this off, but it's still attached. I'm just going to keep growing all this and let it grow wild here. Except down. I don't want it to grow down. So let me keep trimming this up. Anyway, this is just a trim. I've already trimmed it a few times this year. You get stuff growing down from the roots. But look at I'll try to put some pictures on how I started this. Not all trees have to have the perfect flare with the perfect spider web roots going out. That's not nature. Nature isn't like that everywhere you go. Maybe some tree species, but I like this, and I've kept it that way for a long time, and it kind of gave me a style that works with the Portulacaria Afra, because it doesn't really lend itself like some other tree species to the root development. But if you can get a big gnarly ball at the bottom, you've got something. Okay, let's see. Let me see, I'm gonna trim this. All right, I'm gonna start looking for stuff that's facing down and just get with the program here. Okay, down, down, down. And you get a lot of this sprouting from the crotches. So pick them off. Your nails work great for a lot of this. Let's see, maybe cut half of one that's going down so it'll maybe sprout and go up. This is getting long. This is getting long. And cut the tips off that so it'll put energy towards kind of compact this. So let's go back and kind of get a view of what we're looking at here. I think that's a pretty good looking tree. You kind of might not be the right angle, and there's ways to angle change these when you repot. If you're trying to plant these at a severely different angle, you can plant them in another pot, something like that, maybe more upright. But for now, this is fine. Just grow this pad here, this pad. You cut this off. Might be a little different angle when I'm done. Well, you're never done. My two lone little there you go. Tell me what you think. Okay, I wanted to film a big decision. See, I've been bringing it in. I think this branch right here is a little too thick at the end, and I've got all this good looking ramification going on over here. So let's see, I'm gonna cut this off if my cutters will make it on it right there. I have to finish that with these. There, I shortened that up. We'll make the pad more in, a little bit closer. I know that put a big scar here, but I think that as this grows and that grows, cut it off at a little bit different angle. Give it a while, it'll dry up at the end, and we'll see what we have later. Hopefully that's not a mistake. Just depends on the angle you're looking at it. Even this one's a little long. Look at that. Okay. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And I give it a few years before it gets back to looking, it looked okay to me, but I feel like I should have cut it back earlier in its life on these 2. And all right, stay with me. There'll be updates. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Okay, here's another example. Here's an example of one that I just let this grow. This wasn't here, but look at all this. I was trying to develop this and I let this grow and grow and grow. That's wasted. It could have been growing and growing up here. So the only thing good I got out of that was maybe a little bit of the base width of the Nabari. So there's a lot of them. Don't think, I'm not sure if I want to keep all this at all. So I'm going to cut it off there and make a decision later on it. When in doubt, leave it there. Okay. Okay, at this top, kind of going over, it's cool. I'm gonna cut it half off. So let's start putting energy into this area. I don't want anything growing down. Well, I don't want much growing down. All right, I'm cutting that back. Cut it back. Ooh, wind. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Look at this. Growing through. I'm going to cut that off. Let it kind of sit in its pot for a little bit. Needs a little bit more soil. It's washed away. This is actually sitting on a broken pot, and I was doing that to have the roots grow flare out over. And I think I actually put a screw through the bottom of that pot and screwed it to the bottom. I wouldn't suggest that. It was just an experiment. I had one that I screwed into the bottom and it died. So I've done several like that, but this was a really short screw. So I don't know, not much to go on there, but it will come along. All right. Bonsai is all about energy management. Just like a real tree, the apex gets dominant, the bottom limbs die off. Well, you don't want that on your bonsai because, you know, if you're developing a limb, you don't want it just to die off. These are a little bit more forgiving than most species. I grew that sucker, the sucker that grew off the bottom, and it just caught me off guard because, I mean, that was a matter of like a couple of months, and just a lot going on. All right.